Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Insomniac Anvil and welcome back to another Late Nights with an Insomniac. Tonight I'll be going over the Oddworld SoulStorm Game Awards trailer, which was released on December 11th. I am doing an analysis of this quite some time later, I know. Life has gone in the way, I've moved house, it's Christmas and New Year's and I've been very busy, and I know it's a bit late and probably everyone knows about this already, so I'll go over this really quickly because I really want to. And of course, the one time that I'm unable to do an analysis and cover the content that Oddworld Inhabitants releases, they release, and I'm unable to do it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm very excited.
They've always known you would come.
Okay, so first of all, opening scene, chills, literal chills. As Abe is walking through the mosaic lines, you come across the statue that as you walk, the camera pans and it lines up perfectly, and as it does so, it reveals that Abe has been prophesied to save the Mudokon species and, well, probably all of Odd, and you see his face amongst these pillars that line up. I think it's beautiful, to be honest. It's incredible. I also love the archway in the distance. That's nice. Someone also pointed out on Reddit, I believe it was, that Mosaic Lines is already on fire. I do not believe those to be accidental fires. I'm pretty sure those are like pyres or the flintlock devices or something similar to it. Place isn't actually on fire in this scene, so we're okay. We're okay. It's also interesting to note that you get that similar wave effect or the ripple effect, as is very iconic in Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey, Exodus, and New and Tasty. I think it's really cool that that effect plays as you perfectly line up the statue.
Do you know why you have?
That is a very good question, shaman person, that we have no idea what your whole deal is about. Shrouded in mystery, that one is. So, beautiful shot. He looks very nervous. You can also see the necklace that he has, which you can also see in Exodus if you have a sharp eye. The animators who did the sprites for Abe, you can see he's wearing a necklace and it moves around as he runs and he turns around, and of course you also see photos of him. Anyway, as Abe looks up, you can see this idol, this statue. Neiman pointed out that this is Abe, and of course I suppose if you take a closer look at it, you can see the stitches. No one else has stitches on their mouth except Abe, so obviously it must be. This, I'm 100% certain, is part of the device that Abe activates to get his Thor powers. Instead of Mjolnir, he goes to this thing. I'm pretty sure this is where he gets his power to heal. I assume to heal. I don't know what other power he would get at this particular point. But yes, this is definitely the same place as you can see in the PlayStation 5 reveal trailer.
Secrets, lies, dangerous things.
I'm not entirely sure what secrets and lies is referring to. I don't know if that's secrets and lies that the Mudokons have withheld, the elder Mudokons, the shamans, or the Magog, can't tell. Not entirely sure what that is referring to. This place here, I'm pretty sure is deep within Necrom, as you'll see it later on, or in a GIF actually that I'll talk about soon. There's like a bit of bioluminescence surrounding Abe. I think it is bioluminescence. It could be a light coming off of him actually. Actually, if you look closer, yeah, I think he's got his torch there, so could be that. Not sure what this is exactly. I think you have to do some things in order to unlock that. I guess like a bridge opens up, comes across. Interesting note, the pillars, the same birds from Necrom that you can see in this still image here, so similar place if not the exact same place. It looks very morbid, so I'm assuming it's Necrom. Of course you can see a dead little Mudokon there, and it's quite fresh. You can also tell that this is Necrom or somewhere near Necrom because of the hand pillar that you interact with. I can't remember what you call it exactly, but that is identical to the ones in Necrom Forest, so that's an amazing callback. I love how they're keeping the same designs. That's very cool indeed. I love that. As for where I'm guessing that leads, quite possibly into the place where Abe gets his power, or at least to the point where he meets the shaman. So this could be at the very bottom of Necrom, and then he gets inside, meets the shaman, and then he gets kicked down even further. Or he's already been kicked down by the shaman somewhere further below than that. Not entirely sure, but I'm guessing it's around that particular part of the game. Okay, so this scene alone is very important. Abe comes down the elevator, and you see this whole scene opens up where 3 Mudokons are in tear extractors, which are devices that are messed up enough on their own, or extractors, I'm pretty sure is what they're called. Yeah, you can see they're extractors, tear extractors. What makes the scene more messed up is that the Mudokon slave force are the ones controlling the machine, which is, yeah, I think that's taking something dark and just making it even worse, which I love, because Oddworld is a very dark series, and yeah, this is extremely messed up device. I don't know if they're using tear gas and zapping them at the same time. Either way, it's very, very cruel. That sign down there says exit to train. I don't actually know what that says. Train gate? Perhaps exit to train gates. I guess this is like close to the end of the level. There's also a well there, and the placeholder autosave sign, still Mullock. I really hope they get rid of that. But again, I'm pretty sure the game has been finished, so I don't know if they're going to be swapping it out or if they're going to be keeping it. I hope they swap it out, because it's weird having it there.
If you are to face what's coming, you must find your full voice.
Okay, righty ho. So Baron, you get to see the Baron. He's obviously in Necrom, you can tell because of the collar. You can also see other still images of Baron, and he works for the Diggers Guild, or he's in charge of the Diggers Guild, I should say. He's probably getting a call over the speaker system from the Sleek saying that Abe's ruining his day, pretty much, and he doesn't like that. Kind of wish there was like a blue screen similar to the ones in Exodus, that Abe possesses the Gluckons and talks to the Sligs through them and gets the Slig to disable the different barriers to get into SoulStorm Brewery. That would be cool, but this is beautiful. This is amazing. I love this, and you can see the backdrop of Necrom. It's still very much the same as in Exodus. I love that. Here we have some more shots of Necrom, which again, it looks incredible. This sign here says Necrom. I don't know if it's like Necrom as a whole, or if this is just a part of Necrom, because it doesn't say Necrom Mines, it's just Necrom. So is there only 30 employees and 16 security? Because if so, that's a very small amount. So I'm guessing it's just this particular part, I'm hoping, because that's very few muds. I just noticed in the background there you can see a doorway appear. It's incredible to see that Oddworld inhabitants have been keeping all the doors, like the style at least, the same. And I really just love the camera work for this game so far. It's brilliant. It opens up so much more of the scene, and you can see all this hidden stuff. It's great. And I think that's going to be a key component to discovering secrets as well. Okay, so here we have Abe running away from a fiery ball of death. Amazing classic trap. Love it, love it. Abe has a torch. Talked about this before. That's cool. That's different. Something that Neiman pointed out, where Abe, he falls in. I think that's intentional. I think he's supposed to go down there, but if you look there, look at that, a little bit of a missing texture there. That's awesome. Case in point, they have bugs to squash. There's one of them. They're gonna squash that one real good. Very much like Abe might get squashed by this boulder. Okay, so here it says a visual feast. It really is. This is a crazy scene. I'm guessing by the sheer amount of Mudokons fleeing that this is either going to be Monsaic Lines or Sorrow Valley. It's very intense, excuse the pun. You have a Slig in the foreground lighting out what I'm assuming is a path of oil. You can see, because that little flicker of blue flame there, I'm assuming that there's oil there, and he just lights the place on fire. But that confuses me, because how are you supposed to interact with the information board? Or stone, information stone. I don't understand that entirely, but that's cool. That's a great scene. I am very anxious about playing that particular part, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. You also have some Gatling gun sligs. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a gun that I can use to shoot back, or if it's a pair of binoculars that you put some moolah in and you can see the sights. But the Gatling gun, slig. I'm pretty sure those are manned by sligs are on a railway, so gotta watch out for those guys. Yes. Neiman also pointed out that there's something in the background that's moving towards them, so I think that's going to come by and squash them. So I don't know, maybe you have to pull that thing and stop them from dying, which I don't know how you're supposed to pull that off, because you're supposed to save everyone in a perfect world. So Abe's really got his work cut out for him. This here was also a gift that was revealed right before the trailer itself of Abe turning into Shrikal. This is a magnificent scene. Still don't understand how we're supposed to save everyone whilst utilizing the power of Shrikal. Perhaps Shrikal is solely used in a aggressive playthrough. You also have a vendor machine for free flamethrower packs, or at least the fuel for them, so that's great. Fuel is free in Oddworld. I don't know how the economy works with that, but hey, you know, if they can do it, why not? They aren't so greedy, apparently. The Magog Cartel. This scene here where Abe has possessed a flying slig comes along and he gets very close to the chant suppressor and it hits the slig and kills the slig. So I guess very much like in Munchie's Odyssey, the chant suppressors can pick up on possessed bodies and really doesn't discriminate. Like, it goes to town on anything that is voodoo magic involved. It's great. Makes things very difficult. You can also see in the distance right next to the stockholder sign that we all love to hate, a picture of flying sligs, I think. So I guess there's no point in having that guy past that particular point, so maybe if you're fast enough you can blow up the chant suppressor and do something back that way. Not sure. Now this part in Necrom is another great scene. Love the panning transition of the camera. There's a platform there that looks like it's about to break as Abe leaps off of it. It's good to see that Abe has learned from his previous mistake and doesn't want to crack his head again. There's also a pressure plate that he stands on and the spikes come out of the wall ready to greet him. That's nice. That's lovely. I'm honestly digging all of the additional traps. It's great. Now there is a vase there. I don't know what's up with that. Or a basket. I think it's containing meat, so I guess it's important, but you just have to watch your step. Diving in ancient burial sites, you know, you gotta be careful in those places. You can also see Abe using his very controversial double jump. I mean, if you've played Oddworld Munchie's Odyssey, it's nothing too new. Yes, you don't get to do it in Oddworld Abe's Odyssey and Exodus, and I kind of agree. I wish he didn't have it either, but it does open up the possibility for a lot more intense maneuvers around the field. With the double jump mechanic, it means that the surrounding areas are going to be much harder to figure out. You're going to have to apply a bit more skill to traverse a lot of the environment. And speaking of, I'm pretty sure this is Fat Station. As you can see in the background, there is a train coming in. Just the amount of detail is phenomenal. You've got the foreground, you've got the midground, you've got the background, and then you've got the foreground. There's just so much going on all at once, and it's just so beautiful. And the trees on the side there just remind me so much of Stranger's Wrath. There's actually quite a bit that reminds me of Stranger's Wrath, and it's nice to see it all coming together. It's just, it's beautiful. They've done such a good job with the way that they've built the worlds. It really feels like a station. It really feels like an actual place that you're going to. It's not just a pop-up, you know, a whole different area. It just makes the world feel very expansive. Okay, so we're back at the undecided location of destruction. I'm sure this is going to be the outskirts of Monzaglines, surely. But the one thing that caught my eye the most is the same basket slash vase down in the corner there. The same one that I talked about in Necrom. So obviously this is a place inhabited by Mudokons because they have the same kind of clutter, I guess you could call it. I can't really think of the right word off the top of my head. Basically the same kind of stuff is there, so you can kind of put two and two together and say, hey. But of course also this is a great shot for Oddworld inhabitants to show off the destructive environments that they've got going on. You know, there are different paths you can take, I'm pretty sure, and the world seems to crumble around you with every step you take, which is cool. That's really cool. You also get this nice new shot of the blimp I don't actually see Abe anywhere in sight. He's got to be possessing one of these two. I think probably the guy in the middle, right? Unless of course this is a cutscene. I have to give credit where it's due. The world building in this game so far from what I've seen is just phenomenal. It blew me away, as Digital Foundry so simply put it. This is obviously the gorge, right? But you can tell that there's a lot of history in the places Oddworld Inhabitants builds. There's not just quick pop-ups or locations for convenience. This area shown has been around for a long time, which is shown through the degradation of the structures. Whether that's due to time chipping its way at these buildings or for a more similar reason as the current scene. It's not just a place that you walk through and go, oh yeah, that wasn't all that memorable, I completely forgot about that, because these places are so memorable. Point is, these locations are rich with lore and it just adds to the overall experience. It's a great opportunity to catch a glimpse into the history and perhaps the future of the series. I also really like the shot of when the old shaman grabs the young Abe by the throat. He's like, wait, what's happening? And he's looking at her. He's like, seriously, this is happening? I'm so confused. He's like, what? You're so aggressive. Why? Stop it. And then it cuts back to Necrom with more traps, some more classic traps, the falling spiky balls of death. Love those. You've also got two dark, ominous things in the corner there. I'm guessing those are whatever hatches from the fleeches. They seem to be either hopping around or flying around. Not sure, but they move pretty quickly, I guess. So yes, creepy. Didn't really get to see them, so I'm not all that terrified by them. We haven't really seen anything of them, so I have no idea what they are at this point. So I guess it's going to be a real treat when we do actually come into contact with them, which again, we'll talk about soon. In the bottom there, you can see another vase or basket, and in the far right, you can see, I don't actually know what that is, but caught my eye. It's interesting. And we have Alf very angrily beating down the door on a train when Abe is captivated by whatever he's holding that's glowing in his arms. And there you have it. There's the trailer. Now, before we wrap things up and I give my final thoughts, there is one more thing that we need to talk about, and that is one of the gifts that Oddworld Inhabitants gave to us. There was the Shrikal gift that I went over before, but there's also this other one that I wanted to show you guys because it's very, very cool, very, very dark.
Remember, they don't like the light.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a cutscene transition from when the shaman kicks Abe down that well, or that passage or whatever it is. He gets knocked out unconscious. Poor Abe. That seems to happen to him a lot. I'm guessing this is the introductory scene into whatever the fleeters hatch into. So this is a whole like, hey, new game mechanic. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna teach you how to survive this, and then you're on your own. I also love this thing. It seems like fresh out of a horror. At first, when I looked at it, I didn't even think of Oddworld. That I didn't even know it was Oddworld. And I only realized once I saw the hand and Abe on the ground that it's like, oh, this is Oddworld. This isn't a horror game. This isn't like Silent Hill or something like that. I don't know. That's what I assumed it was because it felt very that vibe. Silent Hill, yeah. It's just I just think it's a great scene. The noise, terrifying. The dripping is great. It feels really rusted and pungent and just disease riddled, of course, because there's all this rot everywhere. The information totems look so good. I love that design. It's just amazing. I also love the big massive chains everywhere. Like, what's that holding up? I don't know. And there we have it. I'm pretty sure I covered everything I wanted to talk about. Again, I'm so sorry that it's taken me so long to do this. Again, I have been very, very busy. What I'm saying probably is just agreeing a lot with a whole bunch of other people because, again, everyone's probably already talked about it. I am definitely more excited than I have ever been before for this game. It looks great. It's pretty much done. They just have to squash a few bugs, especially that missing texture bug. They'll definitely get that one, that's for sure. I definitely think that they need to release a demo at some point so we can have a feel of it, have a play with it of ourselves. It's only a couple months away. Definitely, right? Like late March perhaps? Hopefully late March. Again, hopefully I got everything I want to talk about. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more. You can always unsubscribe later if you so choose. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you all have a good day and a good night. And Happy New Year, everyone. Bye bye.